Is there any one wash mitt that's better than the other? Like a Chanel, like a sheepskin? Is it really worth it? Can I just use towels? Well, to be honest, I don't know. I haven't used every single last wash mitt on planet Earth that they sell on the market because I'm sure there's dozens and dozens. But in this video, I'm gonna show you my favorite wash mitt and why I use it. So I would say for starters though, I don't use a sheepskin or anything super high end. I know there's a lot of more high end detailers out there that specifically use those really premium, like 40 plus, I think, dollars for per wash mitt for a sheepskin. Super soft, super premium, not gonna scratch or mar the vehicle. They also foam it down, rinse it, wash it, foam it again, rinse it, dry it with a master blaster, and all that crazy things, right? I don't have any experience with that because I don't really care for it. But my favorite ones that I use are going to be the Chanel type wash mitts. Now, that's a style or category you can put it in, but most companies sell a Chanel type microfiber wash mitt. And essentially that they have these little strings, little fibers, these little hands on them for washing the vehicle. Now, my previous ones that I've always used and also liked a lot were the I just cut my hand. Were the Meguiar's microfiber wash mitt. They don't really have a name, but there were these right here. Now for a while these were my favorites, but when they get dirty, they get really matted down with the dirt. And then at that point, you're just kind of moving dirt around rather than capturing and releasing. So I don't really use those too often anymore. Now I will use it actually when it's like on a dirty vehicle, maybe like somewhere that's like kind of underneath the vehicle where there's a lot of dirt, where it just, somewhere where it just needs to get dirty. I'll reserve it for that one. But I have like 3 or 4 of these laying around, so I'll take them. I always have them with me just in case for those really dirty areas. But by default now, I always go to the Chanel wash mitts. They just have a much better, in my experience, they just have a better method of kind of, when you're washing the vehicle, for the paint to get picked up and then move into the fibers, not just stay on the outside where you're just kind of moving it across the paint, where you're just moving the paint. You're moving the dirt across the paint rather than capturing the dirt inside the fibers. And also the colors are really cool. I mean, not that I'm a huge color guy, but the colors are pretty nice too. These ones specifically are from the Rag company, I want to say. I bought a few other Chanel mitts from different providers or brands. They all work out the same. I'm not gonna overthink it and say, well, which specific brand do I need? As long as it's a reputable brand, they're gonna have quality microfiber towels. I mean, even the ones that you can find locally at AutoZone or O'Reilly's, I've seen detailers purchase those and use those with absolutely no problem. I don't know the price point of these off of the top of my head, but I know plenty, and you can just YouTube it as well, that the Target ones, the AutoZone ones, those still give you great results. Granted, they're not super quality premium wash mitts, but they're still not gonna just like one wipe on your vehicle and they're gonna like scratch your car again. So if you want, like, again, if you don't want to spend the money or wait, or you just want to go buy something right now, go check your local auto parts store. They sell them because I've seen them. I just haven't tried any of them myself, but you can still get great results. I don't want you to overthink this phase, especially if you're trying to do this as a business and you're like, well, what's the best wash mitt? I need to order like 4 of the best ones, so I'm gonna spend like $100, $200 on just washing. Like, dude, don't overthink it like that. If you need to wash your vehicle, go buy something to get it done. Even if you're doing this as a business, don't think you have to go super high in premium to get started. Like, I remember when I started, I went like full 9 yards. I had 3 wash mitts, I had 3 buckets, each one filled up to 5 gallons. I had grit guards in each one. I foamed the vehicle down on a customer that was paying like $40 for a car wash. It was so unworth it and so dumb of me to do that. So don't do the same thing. If you're doing this on your personal vehicle, do whatever you want, have as much fun. If you're doing this as a business, don't overkill and try to be, like you see all those high-end detailers working on those Ferraris and Porsches. Start simple, wash the car, and progress as you need. Now, I use the Chanel mitts for both a rinseless wash and a traditional, traditional soap wash. Now when it comes to rinseless washing, I will sometimes use the wash mitts when I'm doing a rinseless wash. So a rinseless wash is when you spray, can you see that? Is when you spray your rinseless wash onto the panel, right? And then typically you use towels to wipe it down. You flip the towel over, wipe it down, flip the towel over, wipe it down. But if I'm either going to, polish the vehicle, or if just, dead set, that vehicle has already had 100 improper washes and it's not that bad, then I will just spray. I'm just trying to give you on the fly. I'll spray the panel down, assuming it's not that bad and it's not really big, a big deal me doing this. And I'll tell you, most of the time it's not a big deal. Like most vehicles you're gonna wash, they're hammered at least 100 times. They've had an improper wash and dry on them. So for you to overthink it, you shouldn't do that. But you're gonna spray it on there, and then you'll take your Chanel wash mitt and you'll literally just do that, and then come back with your towel and dry it and be done with it. So that's what I do if I'm doing rinseless. Sometimes I'll do that. I'm sorry, not rinseless, waterless. I'll do that. This is for waterless. I'll spray it down and then wipe it down and then mop it down. But I hardly ever do waterless. 99% of the time, if there's a choice between rinseless and waterless, I'm gonna go with rinseless because that's just my method. I will say though is that I don't wash them every single time I use them, just because I do a lot, well not a lot of washing, but I do frequently wash vehicles. So if I'm gonna wash them every single time I use one, that's a lot more work on my end, or I have to buy a lot more wash mitts. Like right now I have 4 or 5 on hand, and I just want to rotate them out. That way I don't always have to wash them every single time I wash a vehicle. So once I'm done, and this is assuming the wash mitt isn't completely dirty. Like if it's, once it's past its time, put it in the dirty laundry, go wash it. But for the most part, if I can get away with it in terms of it wasn't that bad, it didn't cling on super, it wasn't terrible dirt or anything, then once I get back from working, I'll either rinse it down with a hose if that's enough, or I'll like kind of spray APC and kind of just massage it out, get it wet, wring it, and then just set it aside to dry, and then just kind of do that maybe once or twice, and then put them to wash, depending again how much I use it, how dirty it is, how many other vehicles I have scheduled that I need wash mitts for, all those good things. But I also don't want to have just 10 wash mitts and use them every single time I wash one vehicle. I have to go to the next one. But that's it for this video. A little longer than expected, but that's my favorite wash mitt, how I use it, why I use it, how I keep up with it. Leave your comments, questions, advice, suggestions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you on the next video.